So this is my take on the 501st Battle Pack. Now, firstly, I've got to thank two individuals. Ryan from M&R Productions. Without him, this wouldn't even be a thing. And secondly, I have to thank a young man who also has a YouTube channel called Shadow Bricks. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to buy this from the Lego store on August the 1st. Now, to find out why, check the link above for a recent Lego haul. So, what is this exactly? Well, it's called the 501st Legion Clone Troopers. And it's set number 75280, or as everyone else on the planet calls it, the 501st Battle Pack. And even then, I'm kind of using the term quite loosely. Now, is this the best Lego Star Wars set ever? No, and to be honest, it doesn't actually even pretend to be. Is it the most sought after Lego set in the world? Yes, it is, and potentially it's outselling everything else that Lego has to offer by 10 to 1. Now, does this set mark the beginning of some changes? It does, and I'll touch on those as the video unfolds. So, on that note, let's take a closer look and see what all the love for this set is about. So let's start off then with some facts and figures. Like I said, it's set number 75280 and comes with 285 pieces and comes fully loaded with 6 minifigures and retails here in the UK for £25, in the US for $30 and the rest of Europe for €30 and has a respectable piece count of 8.8 pence. So that's the brief. Let's continue delving into this review. So diving straight in then with the box. Along the top here we've got the white greebling, which I think looks pretty damn good. Then over here, we've got the Ahsoka Clone Trooper there. That's new for the summer 2020. I think he looks pretty good. He comes with the AAT set. Then over here, we've got ourselves the 501st Jet Trooper. I think he's going to be my favourite one. Then we've got the Bark Speeder. I think that looks pretty good. He's got a nice long nose on that. And then over here, of course, we've got the RT Walker, which I've got to say looks pretty damn fine. Over here, I've got this guy here. I call him Jimmy No Mates only because he's got no vehicle. He's just kind of walking on foot. Then over here, we've got our battle droid. And of course, all these guys, they look like they're being lured into some kind of trap, don't they? Because you've got this battle droid over here, kind of coming in from the back, taking them all out. So it's not looking good for our friend Jimmy No Mates at all there, is it? Down here, we've got the list of all the figures that we're going to get. And notice as well, they're not even giving him the biggest rifle. I can't even see that on there. It must be the AT-RT driver's got that one. But anyway, we've got one 501st Clone Trooper there who's got the longer rifle. All the rest have got a couple of blasters. And then, of course, you've got these battle droids here, which isn't anything too major to write home about other than I tend to call him Roger and him Roger as well. And if you've seen the movies, you know why. Round the back then, we've got some action shots here. We've got the stud shooters with the Bark Speeder. That looks quite good actually. I think they look pretty good at the front. I don't think they're too bad at all, at least for stud shooters. And of course, we've got the AT-RT here showing off some articulation, but we'll be testing that out in just a moment. And then over here we've got our 501st figure there. Oh look, it's got a pair of binoculars as well. That's quite cool. We've got one we've got one of the battle droids surrendering, and this one he's kind of taking it right to the end. And over here it says, look at that, play in Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. So that's going to be the new Skywalker Saga video game coming soon. That's going to be quite good. Around the box, have we got anything else over here? There we go. We've got a real to scale, 1 to scale 501st Jet Trooper. He's looking pretty good, isn't he? So anyway, that's the outside. Let's see what's on the inside, shall we? So all in then, just 4 things in the box. Bag 1 looks like it's going to be building the Bark Speeder. That's looking pretty good. We've got a couple of figures in there as well. Then bag 2 is obviously going to be the AT-RT, judging by those round pieces in there. I've got to say, that blue looks absolutely fantastic, especially with the grey. I think they both really well contrast against each other. Looking forward to that. And then of course, we've got the infamous sticker sheet there. I think that looks pretty good, isn't it? It's a nice sticker sheet. Again, good use of the colours there with the light blue and the grey. I think they work pretty damn well. And then of course, we get the inevitable instruction manual. So let's take a quick look at that, shall we? There we go, I was right. Bag 1, is the bark speeder, bag 2 is the ATRT, and then instructions on how to build the figures. Let's go to the back. There's our list of parts, and then of course we've got all the new sets that are coming out. And there's the Razor Crest, the infamous Razor Crest, that's coming out on September the 1st, and that's a good set as well. The final duel on the Death Star 2. That's pretty good. There we go, some more cool looking figs there. I'm liking the breakdown of the figs. There's Ahsoka, and there's our Ahsoka Clone Trooper. There's our game as well, the Skywalker Saga. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Look at that, all the different planets there. I'm looking forward to playing that. So, this is where we need to get to, just after, of course, this brief speed build.
Third salvo, on target. What about vibration? A radio transmitter could coordinate the movement of troops to keep an unbroken contact between our forces on the ground, in the air, and on the sea.
Close your eyes, pretend it's a dream, because you wanna go away, 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 away. Don't believe but the sky. Use your will, make your fire, and burn with love here again in our sweet home, Mother Earth. Sweet home, Mother Earth. Sweet home, Mother Earth. Sweet home, Mother Earth. Sweet home, Mother Earth.
Okay, so here it is then, the 501st Battle Pack. And I've got to say, first impressions, yeah, I like it. So anyway, let's start with the minifigures, shall we? And kicking off, in my opinion, from the worst to the first. So this is the Battle Droid then. There's not really too much to this. He's kind of, well, I don't know. It's a functional Lego design. It's been around for ages. And, you know, it's as good as it probably needs to be. Albeit, I would like to have seen a little bit more colour as opposed to just having this kind of vanilla looking beige battle droid. And the other thing is as well, they give him these blasters. And I've got to say, as much as I love these blasters, because they are a lot better than having a stud shooter, it still looks ridiculously too big on him. It kind of needs a bit of a smaller one. And I'm sure there's one or two other smaller designs out there that would probably look a little bit better. So here he is then, the 2020 version of the 501st Clone Trooper. And I've got to say, wow, this is a nice looking minifigure. He really is. Straight off the bat, he comes with a proper Star Wars blaster as well. None of those stud shooters, giving him that comical look. He's gone for the traditional ones, and I've got to say, these are so much better than stud shooters, in my opinion anyway. But let me know what you think in the comments below. So the Phase 2 helmet, just look at the detail in this Phase 2 mold. I've got to say, is pretty cool. Now, one of the improvements I think that they've made over the original 501st clone is this here, the grey cheekbone armour there. I think that's a nice addition there. And of course, you've got this lovely blue centre spray going down the helmet as well. And just talking about levels of detail, if you can just see the mouthpiece there, you can see it looks like, almost looks like he's got teeth. He's got grey and black there in the print, and it's really accurate. And I've got to say, it just gives it so much detail. Now, of course, talking of detail, look at that torso. Look at all those depths of print that we've got going on there. Of course, got the blue continuing from the helmet down into the torso, along the chest piece, and that kind of splays out again. And I just think it gives it a real lovely symmetrical look there, especially at this angle here. You can really see that looks good. So with the printing, of course, we've got these really thick lines. We've got some thin black lines, and of course, we've got grey there, adding shadow to it. And again, just giving it so much depth. I think Lego really hit it out of the park there with the printing with these particular minifigures. I really do. Certainly making up for those battle droids. Then round the back here, we've got some emphasis here on these bottom sections there of his belt, and then just above it there, we've got a lot more grey, just adding a little bit of shadow into the various armory bits that he's got on his back. So looking down at the legs, no printing there on the back, but the front certainly makes up for it. We've got the blue accents there across the knee pads and his armouring around there, and just along his feet there on his boots, we've even got some printing going on there as well. So all in, I do think he's a pretty good looking figure. Certainly be interested to know what you think down in the comments below on this particular version compared to the earlier versions of the 501st Trooper. But one massive, and this is almost like a bit of a moment, this is, folks. This is it. This is here is a new face for our clone troopers. Look at that. Gone now are the days of the frustrated, angry clone, and they've been replaced with a more, how can I put it, I don't know, more of a focused in-universe face. And of course, they've changed the skin tone of it as well. Kind of gone for a slightly darker pigmentation, a sort of a nugget sort of colour. I think it's really good. I think it's definitely in keeping and more accurate in universe, just like the rest of this particular 501st minifigure. So my favourite figure then from this Lego set, and I've got to say, honestly folks, I am an absolute sucker for figures that wear these jetpacks. Honestly, I am. I'm not only a bit of a Rocketeer fan, but obviously I like Mandalorians as well. And this guy, he just, he ticks so many boxes for me as well. He's almost my favourite ever trooper, but that will be a discussion for another day. But this particular trooper, on the face of it, you wouldn't actually think there was too much difference between this and the standard 501st clone trooper, but there is actually quite a few different things going on. So let's look at the helmet then, shall we? The blue paint job on this is completely different. It's no longer going down the center, and these blue cheekbones here, the armor around the cheekbones, that's grey, and that's being replaced with blue. And I gotta say, it looks good. It really does look good. I love the way the blue flows through this figure with the jetpack, and of course the contentious arms as well, which I really like. The armor actually on the torso is exactly the same, except the blue spray job, it's a little bit different, and I do like it. I gotta say, it does work really well, just kind of pulling everything together. Round the back here, of course, we've got the jetpack, and you can't see what's going on there. So let's pop his helmet off, shall we? And of course, you've got the new style nugget head going on there as well. Let's take this off. I can't say, just such a cool color as well. You know, it makes a change from sandy green, doesn't it, to have something like that. And then we have it there. There's the back of the torso there, looking pretty much the same as our standard clone trooper, except this one just has the blue going across the shoulder pads there. Now, like I said, of course, he's got blue arms as well, and that's fine. I think, again, in Universe for the Battlefront game, his arms are mostly blue. So percentage-wise, I think Lego have done the right thing and given him blue arms. On the back of the legs, no prints going on there, nothing going on the side there. But around the front, of course, we've got the similar, if not exactly the same legs, actually, in fact, as the 501st Clone Trooper. But yeah, I think this is a really nice figure. And just going back to the helmet as well, of course, you've got these tiny little red accents there, just kind of defining a little bit of difference there in the rank. After him then, let's take a look at the build, shall we? Let's pop these out of the way here, and we'll just move him to one side just for a moment. So, enter the Bark Speeder then. This was actually quite a good little build, actually. Only took me roughly 10 minutes to do, but I liked it. I liked especially the way it was assembled. There's some really good little techniques used in this, and I particularly like these handlebars here. See them there? They come independent, so you can actually kind of steer it and change the speed as and when he wishes to. Really, it's quite a nice little build actually. Kind of, it's just kind of an upgrade to having like a steering wheel or something like that. But I like the actual look of this as well. It's kind of it's got this really, I mean, for a speeder anyway, it's got this incredibly long nose on it. Kind of reminds me of the old 60s style sports car with the over excessive kind of long sleek bonnet. But I've got to say, I do like it, and it's kind of reminiscent as well of kind of like a bird with an incredibly long beak on it or something like that, because you've got these kind of terraced pointy ends here on there. So I think it's a really nice little build. I mean, the levels of details are quite high. We've got these blasters over here, which is kind of a new thing, I think. I've never seen it before. Anyway, I'm not sure if they're meant to be blasters or it's meant to be greebling. I'm kind of going to go and lean on the fact that it's probably greebling. You've got these rifles here, and you've got them attached as well to some lightsaber hilts. I think that's a nice effect. And you've got these undercarriage parts here that you only normally associate with Lego City sets. And you've got them there, just adding a little bit more detail as well. And you've got these stud shooters here. And I've got to say, I like them. It's very rare that I get anything stud shooter-esque in Star Wars that I can actually say, yeah, I kind of like it. I think it adds a little bit more feel and look to the overall kind of build. And I've got to say, with the back kind of leaning down like so on this nice long slope there, we've got a couple of stickers there that apply to it. I think they're okay, to be honest. They're easy to apply, those ones. But with all this little detail that you've got going on here, and you've got these stud shooters at the front, I just think it makes it look really swooshable. I think it's a fun little build, and I've got to say, for 10 minutes, I was really enjoying it. So let's pop him over there, shall we? And let's get something. Let's kind of get Star Wars answer to a mech. That is, of course, the Walker. I've got to say, I really enjoyed this. This is only the second Walker I've actually ever built, and funny enough, it was an ATRT as well, and that one came from a poly bag that I built just a couple of weeks ago during one of my popping poly bag builds. But this one is obviously so much bigger, and again, it's got lots and lots of detail on it. It's got some really interesting elements as well, and really the whole thing was assembled over about, I don't know, 15 minutes I think it took me to build this, but it's built over two main sections, if I'm honest. You got this part here, which is obviously the cockpit, and then the kind of second part to it was the legs and the chassis as well for it. And it's a pretty strong build as well, especially with the axle bar going all the way through it. And of course, like the Bark Speeder, it's got good levels of detail on it as well. So let's take a look around the cockpit first, shall we? I mean, unmistakably, it gives it a lot more height, because this set, this actual Walker is kind of a lot bigger than it normally is in Universe. They're normally a lot smaller than this. It's probably about 2 or 3 times bigger, but to be honest, I don't really mind. I quite like it. I think it's a good size, and but that doesn't bother me at all. But anyway, back to the cockpit and back to the detail. We've got these communications aerials here, and even they've got a little bit of dexterity with them there. I think they look kind of cool, and I like the fact that they've used 2 shades of that as well. We've got the clip on the back as well for the binoculars, and of course he's the guy that's got the big rifle with the candle piece there. I think that looks pretty good. It's nice to have those clips on them as well, so you can kind of save you losing those blasters, because as much as I love these blasters, and I much prefer getting these over the stud shooters, like I said, I'm always losing them, so it's good to have something to kind of attach and clip them to. You got these pieces down here, and they just act as extra greebling and gives it a little bit more depth and feel to the actual set as well. Around the front, we've got these banner sections as well. They're nice elements, and they're used as the front shielding. And you've got these tiles here where you can attach and fix on the stickers as well. Now the stickers, a lot of people don't like stickers, and for this set, you could potentially just kind of leave them off, but I like them only because you get this battle damage on them as well. So I do think personally, I think as slick and as smooth and as shiny as these do look, I do like to see a little bit of Clone Army battle damage, because we don't want them looking like shinies, do we? The 501st, they always see plenty of action, and of course with that you're going to get plenty of damage action as well, and battle damage marks. So yeah, I like that. It's a good level of detail to add. So around the inside the cockpit as well, we do get a printed piece, which I've got to say I really like as well. I'm a big fan of these. I do love these. Ever since I was a kid, I've enjoyed fitting these. But you've got this console area there. I think that looks pretty good, doesn't it? It's nice where the light just catches it there with the red, the silver, and the grey. I think that looks good. So yeah, around the front, of course, this seems to be universally controversial. No one seems to, well, pretty much most people don't like the stud shooter, but I don't actually mind it too much. I think it's all right. Yeah, it's probably the least detailed part of this build, but I've got to say, it's on a ball and socket fitting, and you can move it around as you want and stuff like that. So I think it's got plenty of dexterity, but you know what? If you don't like it, it's pretty easy to modify, and just with a few different elements, you'll get, maybe a more accurate look as to what it should look like. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. So moving away from the cockpit and going down just a bit, of course we've got the legs, and these legs are absolutely full of bundles of dexterity. They really are. They're just made up of a couple of parts there, these 1x4 sections there, and what I like is the use of these blue discs as well, along with this 1x2 piece that kind of just breaks up all the grey, because let's face it folks, Star Wars is notorious for kind of bluish grey parts, and this blue, it kind of just breaks it up very, very nicely. It really does. And of course it matches their uniforms as well, which I think looks nice. I think down here, the feet as well, I think these are quite interesting. These are probably the most interesting part of the whole build in some respects, the way these kind of come together. They're made up of all sorts of slopes, sections, and these grille parts just there. But you've got these kind of claw effect as well with the feet that kind of give it some very good grip with this 1x1 with a tooth section there, just kind of making it, it's almost like a claw from a bird, isn't it? But yeah, overall, I think for an AT-RT, I think this is a pretty good representation of one. Overall then, does the 501st Battle Pack deserve all the love and support that it's got and continues to get? Well, in a nutshell, yes. The price point is good at £25 for 6 minifigures and 2 well thought through builds. This set was demanded by the people and priced appropriately for the people. In my opinion, LEGO's delivered a high quality premium set for the price. Now, should you get this set if you like Star Wars and the era of the Clone Wars? Absolutely, 100%. This set was made for you. Now, will I be massing up an army of 501s? No. I will collect a squadron of 501st Jet Troopers. Now, this could mark the beginning of a plus size style battle packs, though personally, I hope not. I still like my traditional cheap battle packs for amassing an army. And on that bombshell, thank you as always for tuning in and watching. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you're new around here, why not sign up and subscribe and become a big part of the LBB Legion. I'll leave you now with some videos that I think you might like.
Forever.